Or how to look young forever. How to look young forever. There's this thing in the vegan scene. No, it's not in the vegan scene. It's the everywhere scene. Right? It's the Botox. It's the facelifts. It's the Facetune apps and the makeup and the face surgery and all these things. You know, just a personal choice. Personal choice. But if you have these things on your face, yeah, you can change things up. But if you have hate in your heart, you can't Botox that out. You can't even really face tune that out. It will radiate through. You can have flawless face tune skin or whatever. You can put on the foundation. You can airbrush your face. You can do all sorts of things. You can filter it. But if you have hate in your heart, that'll show in your face. There's a channel called Vegan Deterioration. And no hate to them. But they definitely come from a place of hate, in my opinion. And they just get, like, they just full on. It's vicious, vicious attacking of vegans. Just like picking the worst lighting, the worst angles, and just, you know, really magnifying that, you know. It doesn't matter how good you look or whatever. If you use bad lighting and bad angles, everyone can make themselves look really rough, right? So if you purposely look for the worst angles, and not just to have a joke, and you know, that's fine, it's a different story, but it's the context as well. If your context is coming from a place of hate, which this Vegan Degeneration channel is, you know, and sad. And then you can look at that person who makes those channels. I forget her name, Shard or Shah or something like that. You know, she always hides her face. But someone sent me a picture of her, and it was in good lighting. But you can see there's a lot of anger and hate there. You know, coming through, just radiating through. You know, so it doesn't matter about anything else. That shows on the face. Right, so. If you have hate for vegans or meat eaters or your mom or your dad or your ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend or your workmates or anyone out there, someone who's fucked you over or you fucked them over, whatever. If you have hate for them, you know, and that just, you think about it and you're like, that shows on your face, man. You know, I think I've got a pretty lean face, but it's a pretty light-hearted face because I don't have hate for anyone. I have frustration at times, and maybe disappointment, maybe feels a bit hurt, but it's definitely not hate, you know. There's no one in the world that I hate. You know, there's behaviours that I dislike, and there's things that, you know, everyone in the world would want to change, but that's just life, you know. You just roll with it. Like, you get a flat tyre on your bike, you don't kick your bike, you just fix the flat tyre, you know. You take a breath and stretch your back and have a look around. It's not a bad view, you know. Or otherwise, you just live in a place of hate. I hate these flat tires. I hate this person. I hate durianrider. I hate my mum. I hate Vegan Degeneration. I hate all these people. And these become, you know, and yeah. And look, even in the comment section in some of these videos, just full of hate towards people. And if you go on those people, some of these people, most of them don't have channels because they can't handle criticism. But the ones who do, and they put their face out there, if you look at their face, you do see a lot of hate in their face, you know. So how to make yourself look younger, have conversations with people you don't want to have conversations with. Even I went to this vegan, I'm just using this example, no hate. Using this as an example to this person, the Vegan Degeneration, I said, hey, how about you jump on one of my live streams? You know, show your face, share your opinion, let's have a nutritional debate. And she's like, no. Like, So you can criticise and, you know, whatever other people. But if someone does it to you, now the game's fit. No, we're not playing the game, all right? It's like throwing a tennis ball at someone. And they're like, oh, you want to throw a tennis ball? Throw a tennis ball back. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. I'm only going to throw tennis balls at you. Ha, 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 ha. That's neurotic. That's sociopathic. Like, I've got some stalkers out there. And I'm like, jump in my live stream, mate. Let's have a live debate. And they just scream. You know, they would never get on camera like in a live debate format. Never. Because they're so sociopathic because they come from a place of hate, and they can't hack if someone did the same thing to them. They would lose their chops, lose the plot. So the game that they play is, okay, if I do it, but if you do it back to me, now that's bad. You know, so that's crazy. But where does that come from? It generally comes from they were abused as children by their mum or their dad, or something happened to them, and so they become a damaged soul. It just, you know, goes around society just trying to damage other people. And why do people do that? For many reasons, you know. Maybe they're just trying to like process what happened or whatever. But that's the worst thing you can do is do to other people what you didn't like when people did to you. You know, like you can't heal. Let's say your dad bashed you. You know, if you go around bashing people because your dad bashed you, then you're doing what you didn't want your dad to do. You're doing that to other people. You know. Or if someone ripped you off and you're like, you know, world's fucked, I'm just going to rip people off as well. And it's like, well, you got ripped off, you didn't like it, and now you're going to rip other people off. Like, how does that work, you know? So often people become the crime of what happened to them. And they didn't like it, but then they're going to do it to other people. It's like, that's not how, what are you doing? How are you going to heal if you keep perpetuating that same behavior? And it's going to show in your face. If you go to prison, you'll see so many people who their main drive in life, or their main motivation in life, is coming from a place of hate, you know? And they'll do violent crimes or whatever, or maybe drug-related crimes to fuel their drug habit that comes from a place of hate, where they hate what happened in the past, so they do drugs to try and numb it out, or whatever, you know? And so then these are people who are coming from a place of hate. So if you come from a place of growth or contribution, then your face just changes, like, within minutes, right? Within minutes, your face can lift. Example would be, let's say you're thinking about someone and you hate them, you're like, I know some people who've got this angriest looking face ever, man. I want to mention their names. There's people out there on the internet, some of my haters or whatever, they look angry. Like angry on steroids. Pun intended. And it's like, wow, you know. And so, let's say that person with that full, the most angry face you can imagine. Let's say that a little cat or a little puppy dog, you know, they're driving their car home or riding their bike home or whatever, they come across this little puppy dog, or let's use the word, let's use a puppy. And little puppy dog's like, oh, barking and rubbing up on your leg. And it's like, you're like, oh. So all of a sudden, this person who's got this full angry face, like, full psycho, and then they see this little dog, little kitten or anything, and they come from a place of like caring and love. Their face instantly changes. They'll still have the angry etched, but all of a sudden their face will like, oh, you know, they'll lighten up. You know, same as if you did Botox or facelift. Yeah. Hey guys, I'm full of love. You know, so you can do all this Botox, but then you have this face. Even if you got the, you know, the Joker facing going on, the hate's still going to shine through at some point. So, yeah, so that's just a pure example. That's an analogy, but I don't believe it. My cosmetic surgeon didn't say that. I'm doing Botox, and he mentioned nothing about hate. And it's like, well, if you have hateful thoughts, that comes across in your face, man. You know. So that's really important if you're a younger person as well. You know, because you see a lot of girls or guys as well, they get fucked over by a fuckboy, or a guy gets fucked over by a fame chick or whatever, or whatever. And they just have this like resentment in their face, or they have resentment for their mum or the dad, and you know, and that just you carry that on, man. You carry it on. So for me, quality of life isn't how you look. It's not how you look. I mean, we all want to look nice and attractive and have people, oh my God, you're so amazing, you're hot, you're sexy. Everyone loves that. But there comes a point in your life where that isn't enough for happiness, is it? You start to get a bit bored of that, you know? Like, how many hot chicks out there and hot guys out there, we classify them as hot, who are massively depressed and so bored. They look so bored. You see these models posing them, you know? And you think, oh, they look amazing. But if you just forget out their body and face, just look into their eyes. And you see there's a lot of sadness there, a lot of boredom. Because they're just sick of it. Like, oh, this is boring, I'm getting praised, you know. And so, that's not the quality of life, you know. That's probably a worse quality of life. Because you've got everyone's doing everything for you because they think you're so attractive and amazing. And then you've got no real changes in life, and life becomes really boring and sad real quick. Because everything's just so easy, you know. And you become massively depressed. And then a lot of these people end up in Xanax, you know, these medications. Many commit suicide. Suicide rates are crazy among beautiful people, aesthetic people. It's huge. Alcoholism, it's crazy, you know. Because these people just thought if they were really attractive, they'd get approval, and if they thought approval would make them happy. And then they got to a point where, like, I've had enough approval, I've had my fill, sort of, yeah, but I'm still not happy. What's next? And then they go into drugs, and it's like downhill from there. Like Robin Williams. Robin Williams is a great example. Massive approval, you know, massive approval, money, fame, chicks. Imagine the chicks Robin Williams would have had access to in Hollywood. Man, crazy, you know. He probably had more access to hot babes, being in Hollywood, being connected, having oodles of money, being a funny guy, slaying it. And the dude hanged himself. Had drug issues, alcohol issues that caused mental issues, and then game over. Alright, so the money won't make your face look better either, you know. I mean, you can cosmetically surgical your face, but that hate still comes through. Once you open your mouth, once you talk, your actions and things like that. At the end of the day, even if you're on an island by yourself and no one can judge your appearance, how does it feel to come from a place of hate? You're on the island and someone crashed the boat and you're just like, I hate you, I'm in this island because of you, and I hate this. Instead of going, wow, I'm on a tropical island by myself and there's food here, hypothetically, you know, let's say that. And you're like, oh, wow, this is meant to be. I'm having a little holiday. Relax, catch up on sleep. In life, you can cry or you can fly. So if you cry and have hate, your face will look like that. And if you fly, your face will look like that as well. You know? So you can be a crier or a flyer. A hater or a maker. It's just a choice in the moment. Magic or tragic. Frustrated or fascinated. Inspired or irritated. Right? It's all cliche stuff. It's all corny stuff. But we all know it's true. And so that's the reality right there. Is, you know, if you want to change how your face looks, change your thoughts. Don't do Botox. Right? Because you can smooth out your little wrinkles, your little crow's feet, or all on here. You can put little fillers in here, in your little drops. But if you come from a place of hate, it's still going to radiate through. Right? And then you'll repel people in life who you probably want to be around. Because you've got this hate shield around. You're like, don't come close to me, I've been hurt. Now I've got to come from a place of hate. Keep people away, people are bad. You know? The worst thing you can do for damaged people is be another damaged person. The worst thing you can do for yourself is to be a victim. Right? Everybody on this planet is going to have something happen to them in their life. It's going to be very traumatic for them. Very traumatic. That's a guarantee. In life, you're going to be hurt viciously. And some people might be something minor will happen to them, and it'll be like the eggshell. They just shatter. You know, just shatter. And you might look at them and go, "That was nothing. What? This will happen to me." It's not a competition. It's all relative. So for some person, you know, they might get rejected on Tinder, and that's just like spirals them down into PTSD. Another person might be, they're a war child, a child of war in Uganda, a child soldier, you know, and they're involved in all the massacre and just crazy stuff. So just like full on, like the top level PTSD. And so both these people have a choice, you know, of how they're going to go through life. Now, the person with the more extreme example, like the child soldier, I don't think there's much more extreme in the world for PTSD than being a child soldier. Well, think of that. Can you think of something more than that? Your parents get killed in front of you with machetes, live, in front of you. Your house got raided at 3 a.m. and, or you sort of get your mum and sister get raped in front of you or whatever, like full on, and then they're macheted. This happens. Watch the documentaries. That's some heavy stuff to go through life with. And then on top of that, now you're a forced child soldier where you have to go around with a machine gun, capping people. Like that happens, man, to a lot of people out there. And then they get out of that, they get rescued, or they just escape or whatever. And they just go, you know what? I ain't going to have this in my head anymore. I'm just going to, it happened, whatever. Today's a new day. Let's move on. And there's obviously people who don't do that and they get into drugs and whatever. And we can sort of empathise a bit with that. But, there's an example out there. So whatever happens in your life, you're going to have something terrible happen to you in your life. That's a guarantee. What's also a guarantee is that you can choose how you're going to feel with that. That's true. You can guarantee that one of the main things in life is you do control your emotions, and your thoughts is just a choice in the moment. Your thoughts, what's that? What you focus on. I can smell onions now, and that can trigger emotions of hunger. Like, oh wow, Natasha's cooking something. I can smell onions now and go, oh my god, onions! Cook food's poison. Oh. I can have all this frantic episodes going on. All right, so someone could be in the room and have the same thoughts too. I'm allergic to onions. Go quick. And have this like psychosomatic illness thing going on. So that's the guarantee. You control your thoughts and you control your emotions. And you can disagree with that and live a life of crying versus flying, a life of medication versus education. It's your choice. It's your life. Okay? It's your life. You choose what you want. So just giving you a heads up here. You can go the Botox route and trying to change your face with surgeries and stuff like that, and do that. It's your right to do that. I don't think it's healthy doing Botox because it's so close to your brain. Or, have you ever seen those people out there, maybe they're 40 or 50 or 60 or 80, and you can tell they're older, right? You can tell they've been in the sun, but they have this sort of radiant glow to them, and it's not surgical. You've probably seen in Byron Bay or Maui or somewhere in Deutschland or whatever, or California, in SoCal, maybe NorCal, and they're these like hippie sort of vegan, organic looking people, and they just have this like radiance to them. I've seen a fair few of them in California actually, and they just have this like, around them. They got no makeup on, no steroids, they've got grey hair or whatever, and they're older, way older than you are, but they have something about them, just this like lighthearted, this youth. That's what I'm talking about. That having that, just going through life with just that, like, well, it happens. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna fly. Maybe I'm gonna cry for a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna go back to flying. It's okay to cry for a little bit. Make sure you fly most of the time. If you're crying 1%, fly 99%. That's a good one. And if you're crying 10, flying 90. That's good. Most people out there are going to be crying 90 and flying 10. And that's their whole through life. They walk like this. And they've got angry edges in their face, and they walk around like... They're the people who are 90, 10. 90, crying, 10, flying. Alright? So yeah, it's just your choice in the moment. What are you going to do? You're going to be a flyer or a crier. There you go. That's what the cosmetic industry won't tell you. That your thoughts largely determine your genetic blueprint of your face. Boom. Here we go. Last one, closing one. Go to Thailand. I've been there many times. I go there every year for the last 15 years. I live in Thailand half the year most of the time. Be back soon once the flights resume. And you'll see people on holiday. And you can tell people are having a good time on holiday or people who aren't. People say, I just need a holiday. I just need to get away from it all. Then everything will be better. No, it won't. Because you go to Thailand and you go to resorts or the islands, Koh Samet or Koh Samui or Koh Tao or Koh Phi Phi or Phuket. And you'll see people and they're just like, hating it, man. Hating it. But they're on holiday. And I also remember seeing this t-shirt one time that said, smile, you're on fucking holiday. I was like, oh yeah, that's a great idea, And that's a great example. Some people go, I just need a holiday, I just need a drink. No, you need to change your thoughts and emotions, bro. It doesn't matter where you are, because there you go. Right? There you are. You can be anywhere in the world. There you are. Right? Think about that. You can go, I need some sunny shine, I need some fruit, I need some best sec. Oh, yeah, okay, good. That's good. But wherever you go, there you are. So if you're waiting for something to happen before you can fly, and in the meantime you're going to cry, that's not living. That's existing. Right? So for me, I made a personal choice in 1999 that I'm going to have an amazing life in here. This is where you experience life inside your head. This stuff here, textual, visual, that's one form, but this is where your emotions and thoughts come from in your brain. You know, you got your serotonin in your stomach and your heart, but this is your emotions and thoughts right here. So your processor. So if you choose to run the update template of like, I'm going to fly versus cry, 99.1, then you're good to go. I remember in 1999, a guy I went to school with committed suicide. You know, because people were like fully criticising him and bullying him and stuff like that, which is, everyone has that pretty much at some point in life. You're going to get bullied and criticised harshly, viciously, relative to what you're ready for. And this guy, unfortunately, he hanged himself. And I was just like, what? Hang yourself because people are making fun of you? Like, no way, man. Like, no way. Really? And I just made that promise to myself that no matter what anyone says to me, I'm not going to like take it on board massively. I mean, sometimes I have, you know, for a day or a moment or an hour, or like, raging out at people. But still, there's a point where I do have control over that, you know, massively. But that, you know, that made to the extent where, well, I might get angry, but I won't hold on to hate and I won't hold on to depression. You know, I made that choice in 1999, so that's about 21 years ago. So that's why, you know, and then that carries on with everything else you do in life, because how we do anything is how we do everything. So if you're coming from a place of I choose to fly versus choose to cry, if that's your like default, if that's your iOS, if that's your what's Android? I don't even know. I've got Android. I don't even know what it is. But if that's your operating system, your OS X or your Windows 95, 98. What operating system are you running? Yeah, that's your choice. Are you running the fly update, or are you still running the cry update? Or is the update you use the iOS? We upgrade our phones. Today I upgraded my Instagram, updated Instagram. You know, update Instagram app. People don't think to upgrade their emotional app. My girlfriend did this to me. My ex-girlfriend did this to me. My ex-boyfriend did this to me. I don't talk to them. If I see them on the street, I don't talk to them. If you can't talk to your ex-girlfriend or your ex-boyfriend, they fucking own you still. They own you. They own you. You know, they do own you. If you're like walking in the street and you see your ex-girlfriend, oh, you walk away, or your ex-boyfriend, oh, you know, if you can't talk to them, that's unbalanced, man. They own you. No, but my mum said, and my dad said, don't talk to that person ever again. And it's like, don't fucking listen to your mum or dad, because they got shitty relationship skills. So they're saying that. Don't talk to this person, just stay away. Like, fair enough if the person's an axe murderer, but if you can't talk to someone and be calm and just be like, okay, this is how it is, yeah, especially if they're calm and civil to you, but you can't talk to them because, oh, my friend said I should talk to them, so you're like, that's nothing. If someone's calm and civil to you and you're still like, no talking, you know, like, that's unbalanced, man. That person owns you emotionally, all right? So whoever you can't talk to, it could be your dad. You know, your dad, maybe dad wants to talk to you, be like, no. Maybe your mum wants to talk to you, be like, no. You know, or your son, or your daughter, or someone wants to say, hey, look, I'm sorry, or hey, how you doing? You know, and you're like, no. You're just staunching them out. Then that's unbalanced, man. That's baby. That's like a 5-year-old kid. I'm not going to talk to you. You know, that's schoolyard shit, man. What's wrong? What's wrong? That's fucking schoolyard shit. How old are you? 20? 50? 60? So the person you can't talk to is definitely the person you should talk to. Even if that person's violent and aggressive, being able to manage people is very important in your life. You know, if you can have, like, I can be in proximity of crocodiles and snakes, king cobras and spiders and have no fear, because I keep a distance. But I'll communicate. I'll look at the animal, observe the animal. You know. So I'm not saying that you should antagonize people. Definitely not. But if you're, you know, it's like in life. If you can't confront people about something you want to talk, if you want to talk to someone about something, like, why'd you do that? You're blah, blah, then do that. You know, talk to people. And if people can't talk to you, then they're damaged people. And they're choosing to cry versus fly. Like, the quality of life is the quality of communication. I learned this from Tony Robbins back in 2005. I remember cycling across Australia, and I had a 1 gig MP3 player, and it was Doug Graham and Tony Robbins, and I cycled from Byron Bay to Adelaide with a 1 gig on repeat. I had Tony Robbins for an hour and Doug Graham for an hour, and I literally listened to that most of the 10 hours a day I was riding, just on repeat. You know, it was crazy. And but I learned a lot because it's like that repetition, and it's all just common sense, good stuff. So it's just like, and that's like, I think it took me 14 or 16 days solo, no stims, no caffeine, nothing. So just me and my emotions, pure emotions. And yeah, Tony Robbins is like, the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of your communication. And I was like, what? The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of your communication. And I was like, man, that's pretty powerful. That's deep. That's deep. So that was in 2005. And so then I came on a bit of a mission about improving my quality of communication skills. And I'm always trying to do better. You know, I'm not perfect at all. 100% not. Which is good, because it'd be pretty boring if you're like perfect at everything. You know, hang on, when I say perfect, I'm perfect at everything except for communication. I mean, if you're perfect at everything, life would be sort of pretty boring, wouldn't it? There's always room for growth and improvement. And so, as much as I think I'm a really good communicator, in that I'll talk to anybody about anything at any time. Well, not any time. If I'm doing a time trial, I don't want to talk. But after the time trial, okay. Yeah, I'll have anyone on my live stream debate. If someone wants to live stream, and there's like, durianrider's the biggest fraud. He's this, he's that. Fuck durianrider. I'm like, okay, it's your opinion. You're entitled to that. Put me on your live stream and let's debate it out. Let's duke it out. You know, let's duke it out nutritionally, whatever you want to talk about. Let's do that. Or durianrider did this. Okay, let's talk about that. You know, you want to make that claim? Let's talk about it. Oh, none of my haters, God bless them all, none of my haters would ever have me on a live stream. Ever. The ones who made videos about me or done blogs or websites about me, they're too pussy to have me on live stream. A live debate, because they need a script to hide behind and a jump cut and all this and that and a keyboard. But real face-to-face live stream for everyone to see wouldn't happen. Because they just come from a place of hate. You know, it's not from a place of wanting to learn. It's just from a place of wanting to fight and win and you know, like, it's like squashing an ant. Or people get a pesticide, they just squash the spider. It's like, there's no logic. It's like, hang on, before you spray the spider, why do you want to kill it, man? No. You know, that spider's dead. It's in my house. It's dead. It's like, dude, it was a huntsman. It's harmless. So it's a redback spider. Take it outside, like, you know, what are you doing? It's like, oh. Those people, man. If someone sprays bugs with pesticide, that's first stage of, like, you need to just chill and, like, have some context here. Why would you spray cancer-causing chemicals in your house or anywhere to get rid of a spider or a bug that's doing no harm at all? I was eating my vegetables, I'm going to spray it. Or, like, some praying mantises in the garden, or maybe spray it with chili powder or something. But why are you spraying chemicals, man? That's just, you know, crazy, you know. That's just lack of communication right there. Just lack of logic and wanting to improve and have growth. So listen to this Tony Robbins stuff right across Australia. And I was just like, man, that's so true. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality of your communication. And people are like, okay, so how do I make money? By being a communicator? No. I mean, making money is fun and stuff, but there's Robin Williams, right? There's so many people out there, so many millionaires who have killed themselves, all right? So money won't make you happy. The only thing that make you happy is just choosing to be happy, whether you're broke or poor. If you are fat and dead broke and hating that, and you're not happy, if you can't be happy now, then you won't be happy if you're super fit and minted. You won't be happy because you have problems as well. People criticize you. Oh, you got too much money. Oh, you think you're good looking. Oh, da, da, da. So people, I'm fat. People make fun of me. They don't give me time of day because I'm fat. Or then when you got money and look hot, people give you time of day because you got money and you look hot. Otherwise, they wouldn't want nothing to do with you. And you'd be like, oh, people are so shallow, you know. It's like, well, hey, back here, you're like wishing you'd get more attention. And now you're getting the attention. You're like, well, people are so fake and shallow. So which one is it? So if you can't be happy here, fatness, broke, then you won't be happy here with hotness and fame and all that shit. That's all fake shit anyway, really. You know, that really shows you if someone's your buddy when you're fat and broke and living on the street and you stink and people still treat you with a bit of dignity and respect, those people are good people. They're not doing it out of sympathy for you, but they just see you as a human. Yeah, you're down on your luck a bit. Actually, not down on your luck. That's bullshit. Down on your luck. Down on your choice to fly versus cry. And they're just like, hey, man, you know, you're human as well. Whatever. It's all good. If you're fat or fit, doesn't really matter. But I'll treat you the same anyway. That's what I try and do. I try and treat people how I want to be treated. That's a huge one in life. Just treat people how you want to be treated. So that's my motto in life. Treat people how you want to be treated. I think my mum told me that back in the day. You know, treat people how you want to be treated. And it's so easy to do that when you're more hydrated and carved up. Yeah. But don't expect someone who doesn't look after themselves to be able to look after you. If they can't look after themselves, they can't look after you. So don't take it personally when they're just going all crazy and shit. Don't take it personally. They can't even look after themselves. They hate themselves. So if they hate you, don't take that personally. Okay? So again, don't try and get love from people who don't even love themselves. Don't try and get acceptance from people who don't even accept themselves. Alright? Just give yourself acceptance. Give yourself love. What does that mean? Not getting high and doing drugs to spite your parents or whatever, or doing risky, dangerous shit or whatever. Don't do eating disorders and stuff like that because you're trying to control the situation you can't control it otherwise. Don't do that, man. Move on from that. You know, what are you doing, like, just in your life? What's your life about? You know, that's why doing something for animals is such a basically amazing thing to do, because animals, let's say I get up inside, his side is broken, it's crashing. Yeah, it is. But we can do stuff for animals. You can be a vegan, you can do gardening, you can pick up rubbish on the beach, you can volunteer at an animal sanctuary, you can do all sorts of things. You can go and catch pigeons in the street and cut hair and string off their feet. Just every pigeon you see in town, every flock of pigeons, there'll be one pigeon with a claw like that that's got hair around it or string. It's etched into its skin. So you can get some bread, throw it around, and just grab the pigeons, and just cut it off. Done that so many times. So many times. Easy to do. Oh, pigeons got diseases. No, they don't. Having that fear of pigeons will have you disease. I knew a girlfriend once actually who was scared of pigeons, and we were in the mall one time. She's like, I thought she was just trolling, so and I was like, hey, you are scared of pigeons. And I'm like, hey, you went to a private school, like your mum's a lawyer, like you got all these things in your life going on, and you're scared of a pigeon. Like, you can't do that. You can't go through life being scared of a pigeon. That's just like, you're not going to have, you can't have good mental health if you're scared of a pigeon, if you're scared of, a cockroach or a spider or a cat or a mouse or a chihuahua. If you're scared of a pit bull who's barking, okay, don't have fear. Don't have like, okay, go away from this pit bull or whatever. But if you've got fear of something, that can't kill you or whatever, that's just like, come on, you're not going to have happiness in life. Because you're going to be like, there's going to be cats around one day. There's going to be pigeons around one day. There's going to be roaches around there one day. You'll bump into your ex-boyfriend or your ex-girlfriend or your mother-in-law or your father-in-law or your dad who bashed you as a kid, or your mum who did whatever to your ex-girlfriend and broke yours up, and you got mad resentment towards your mum and you won't talk to her for 20 years. It's like, come on, man, like, just move on from stuff. You don't have to be best friends with people, but to be able to, like, just to have this, like, I don't talk to them. Who's in the front? I don't talk to them. It's like, come on, man, Someone's in a deathbed. Like, hey, I just wanted to say sorry, No, I'm not talking to that person. They die. It's like, far out, man. Like, how hard do you want to be? How heartless do you want to be? Like, I'm not saying you have to bring people into your life and have them move in into your spare room, but if you can't talk to someone because you come to this place of hate, it's like, far out, like, that's crazy, man. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Lance Armstrong's a good example. Lance Armstrong, he's a very public figure. And if you look at Lance Armstrong's face now, he's a lot older, okay? He's got the wrinkles, he's got grey hair, he's like worn out from all his lawsuits and fucking all this hate towards him. But there's a twinkle in Lance Armstrong's eye that I see that I didn't see back in the day when he was, you know, on TV and he's saying, you know, I'm not on drugs, and he just like, you know, he was just fighting this, like, you know, fighting what he was fighting. He had a lot of, I would say, anger and hate in his face, even though he looked more young and youthful. Now he looks, you know, in context of what he's gone through, all the lawsuits and the massive public disapproval. Massive public disapproval just for taking drugs to win a bike race and to get money and fame and to promote his, you know, Live Strong charity and stuff like that. Just, you know, context, people, context. Lance Armstrong wasn't a serial killer. He's just riding his bike on drugs, right? And making millions and millions of dollars for people and himself. But more people made money off Lance than he ever made himself, for sure, 100%. And Lance has never made a cent for me. I've made money from Lance though. And so Lance, in his face, he looks, for someone who's been through so much, he does have this sense of like relief in his face, you know, relief. He doesn't look, in my opinion, he doesn't look resentful. He doesn't look bitter. He looks a bit stressed, and who wouldn't? You know, who wouldn't? But he doesn't come from a place of hate. He's, you know, reasonably media savvy, friendly, and open. And it's like, yeah, I did this, did that. I'm sorry. You know, he's willing to apologise in public to the people in the past. And he didn't really need to apologise, but he did, and it's made his life a lot better. You know, I think people say Lance was a bully, and yeah, he was. But to his defence, those people who he bullied tried to take him down. They said Lance is on drugs, blah, blah, blah. They tried to take him down. Like, he hadn't done nothing to them. They'd made money from him or whatever. But they're just like, wow, I want to bring Lance down. It's like Travis Tiger and all these people, they want to bring Lance down. I'm like, he's just a bike rider on drugs, making money from cycling. Just like, well, let's go pick up, yeah, let's go pick up some child soldier lieutenants or whatever. Let's go focus on that. Why the focus on a cycle rider? And so anyway, Lance apologised to these people who tried to take him down, and good on him for doing that. I don't think he needed to, but he did, and that's pretty amazing. And some of them accepted his apology, and that's amazing for them too. It's just closure. It's like, okay, we've both do crazy times, blah blah blah. So let's just move on. And some people wouldn't move on because, no, Lance Armstrong, no. You know, even though I started a fight with Lance, I'm not accepting his apology for him defending himself. Like, no. So, you know, like, so the fact that Lance could just say, look, you know, I don't really think I need to apologise, but hey, I'll apologise anyway. I'm sorry I was wrong. How can I make it better? You know, I was just defending myself, but if you feel hurt, you know, I understand. It's in the past. Let's just move on. Let's build a bridge. Let's get over it. Friends, chill, drop it, finished. That's, you know, that's the best therapy you can have. You know, Lance has done that. He says he's done that. As I see a Lance Armstrong that looks a bit lighter in his footstep than he did back in the day. You know, with mad fame, mad approval. You know, Lance Armstrong was God back in the day. And he still is a God for a lot of people. Be inspiration. Inspiration for me, just how he's dealt with a lot of cars in his life. And so yeah, if you could have that context, you know, Lance, younger, 20, 30, mad fame, hookers, strippers for free every night, blah, 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 Porsches, Ferraris, you know, Ferrari jets, living the high life. A little bit of an edge to him compared to now. Just like, yeah, boom, boom. Here's a great one. 2005, Lance Armstrong in that testimony where he's denying everything. And you can feel that. You feel that shield. Compare him to now when he's just talking about stuff. You know, it's a lot more light and just like, yeah, whatever. So I think Lance has had a massive thing of emotional growth, you know, at 7 watts per kilo. And so Lance Armstrong is a good example. Someone who's aged over the years, but come out with a different vibe on his face. If you look closely, you might not see it. I see it. I'm definitely a forensic investigator of people's faces and moods and emotions, just because it's a massive personal interest of mine. The human brain and how we communicate and how we overcome things, and why some people overcome stuff and some people don't. Something small can happen to someone, they lose their chops, and something big can happen to someone, and they're like, damn, that sucks. But we're going to charge on. I don't know how we're going to charge on, but we're going to charge on. We're going to spin it so we win it, and we're not going to have any resentment. We're just going to pick our shit up and keep on rolling on. We're going to fly versus cry. Or cry for a minute and then a minute's time we'll get back onto it. That's the deal. Signing out. How to make yourself look younger. Choose to control your thoughts and emotions. Peace.